tell us what you found, but what were some of the key elements in why was it smart of you guys to be able to self-scout at this point in the year?
I think it's always good to go back and see what you're executing well, what you're not, and then finding out the reasons why. Why is it good? Why is it not good? How can we make it better? And then what are we putting out there on tape that we need to be aware of? So always take advantage of any type of bye week, but that was a huge part of it for us.
Nate, how much did you feel like you were kind of in a rhythm or on the attack on offense and kind of doing, what Spence says is kind of the staple of what you guys want to do on offense against Eastern?
Yeah, I think it was a step in the right direction, kind of what we've talked about before as our emphasis as far as the finish, the physicality, being efficient on first down. When we do those things, it makes it easy to get in a rhythm as an offense, as a coordinator. So that's still the emphasis moving forward this week, but that's who we are. We got to be able to establish the run and then be explosive.
I think it's the fifth time since you guys been at the FBS level that you threw for 300 and rushed for 300. How big of an accomplishment is that in a given game?
Yeah, you can't take it for granted. Football's difficult no matter what you do, so you can't take it for granted. I'm just proud of the guys and how they responded, how they got better in the last 2 weeks, and they had a good time doing it. The energy was on the sideline, on the field throughout the entire game, so we need to continue to show that passion and play with that type of energy.
You've now had 2 games as OC. Just even in those 2 games, is there anything you've picked up, you've learned, anything that stuck out to you?
Oh man, there's probably a million things, to be honest. I've learned a lot in those 2 games. A lot about us, who our players are, who our team is, and how do we operate, and what are we good at, and what do I need to improve upon. I mean, there's a million details I can sit here for an hour giving you, but always trying to reflect and figure out how do I get better as a coach, no matter the circumstance.
For Chris, I'm sure that game was a long time coming. As a coach, just how much joy does that bring you to just see a guy who's been through so much be able to?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, loved every second of it. I'm excited about him, and he got the opportunity, he showed what he's capable of doing, and I'm excited about what he's going to do moving forward. I think we are all aware of the talent that Chris is, and now he's put it on film, and that's the most important thing. So extremely proud of him, excited for what's next, but he deserves it because he's been putting in the work.
A lot of people talk about Air Force's offense, but their defense does some unique things. And I think
Yeah.
they have 9 sacks already through 2 games. What are you seeing from their defense?
Yeah, I mean, historically, year in and year out, they're an excellent defense, and there's no difference this year. They're very sound, they're very disciplined, they're extremely tough, they're physical up front, and they do a lot of good things schematically to take away what you do best. So it is an extreme challenge, and that's part of the game going and playing Air Force. It's going to be.
Trying to stay in a rhythm offensively when you're sitting longer maybe sometimes when they have the longer possessions and stuff. I know previous Boise State teams at times that's been an issue. I mean, how do you just keep that rhythm going and also knowing that you may get the ball a couple less times? Obviously, there's some urgency when you do have it.
Yeah, it's executed. You have to execute. You can't get behind the chains. You can't force things. It's taking advantage of each opportunity and executing what you're doing. You got to be very detailed as an offense when you're playing these guys because you only have so many opportunities, so many possessions. So you got to take advantage of it. But the big thing for us is executing and then making the plays when they come to us.
What was Utah State's game plan, and how was it able to work offensively? Like, how did Utah State do what they were able to do against Air Force?
Yeah, I think kind of what I spoke about. I thought they did a great job of just being efficient, and then when they took shots, they hit their shots. They were explosive down the field, and I think that's what you got to do. I think they did a good job playing to their skill set, to their personnel, but they didn't have a ton of third and longs and XLs, a ton of pre-snap penalties, all those types of things that can kill you against a great defense like this.
Might have been just coincidental, but you guys got Matt Lauder involved early against Eastern too. Was that coincidental or intentional or?
No, it's intentional to try to get him in the flow of the game as quick as possible, knowing how talented he is. So that's always a point of emphasis for us. But just trying to find ways to get, if it's Matt or anybody else, just get our playmakers the ball, you know, as quick as possible, just to get in the flow of a game.
Go back, maybe it's an obvious question, but how much of a playmaker can Matt be? I mean, you look at like his yards after the catch numbers. I mean, he was one of the more elusive tight ends in the country last year after the catch.
Yeah, I think he's shown that he's capable of doing it. I think there's still more in there, and I know he's hungry to keep getting better. I think there's a few plays he could have probably made that he wants to make that we're trying to improve upon that he can in the future. But I think there's still a lot there. But he does surprise people with his ability to run after the catch, and I love it. I mean, that's always the goal for any tight end is don't get tackled by the first guy.
Your leading rusher is Dylan Riley through 2 games. I mean, I know he had the big long one, obviously, when the score was already kind of out of hand. But what have you seen from him, and how is he trying to work his way into, getting more action?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of growth and maturity out of him. I think he's gotten better and better and better, and he continues to do that right now, and it's showing up. And we already know, based on what he did last year, kind of what he's capable of doing as far as the home run threat with the speed that he has in space. But it's all the little things that he's building trust with the coaching staff with as far as protection and being consistent at practice that he's doing as well. So I'm excited because that just adds depth to that room, and he deserves it because he's been working really, really hard the last year.
Do you have to find, I know he's third or whatever on the depth chart, but do you have to find more ways to get him out there?
Yeah, I think that's always evolving. It's always evolving. I think he's deserved everything he's gotten. He deserves more based on what he's shown, to your point, up to this game. So excited for where he's at.
The way you guys were really able to establish the run game on that first drive, just how does that set the tone for the offensive success for the rest of the game?
Yeah, that's been the message for the last couple of weeks. Is that mentality is really what that first drive was. Is coming out, playing confident, playing fast, playing physical, and it was nothing to do with scheme or coaching. That was purely effort and mentality. So now the emphasis is how do you do that week in and week out. But that was a great example of what we're trying to build consistently within this offense.
Do you see the right tackle spot, those guys still just continuing to rotate moving forward? Would you prefer one guy kind of takes the spot there? Or we saw obviously they both played a lot in the last game.
Yeah, I think you always prefer one guy just separates himself and kind of takes over any position, but I think it's always good to have competition within a position. I think that's what we have at right tackle right now with Big Lou and Hall. I think they're pushing each other. They're both getting better, and for us, that's a good thing because that's helping them improve. And if somebody does kind of take that big step forward, then we'll adjust as we need to.
What's your relationship like with Dirk Cutter these days? He still works here, and you guys bounce ideas.
Yeah.
Is there like a system you guys have?
Yeah, we kind of have a structure in place based on the day of the week. There's communication that I'll get from him. You know, he's very still involved. He's out at practice. He's around. He's getting his workout in every day. So there's plenty of time for us to communicate. And he does a good job of telling me what I need to know and being supportive when I need it. And it's been a great relationship so far.
Get back to Chris real quick. You kind of touched on him there. You know, for a long time he was trying to prove to you guys he could show up in practice, and now he finally gets to play on game days. But it's been a while since he played on game days, so it seemed like he almost got better after the catch as the game went on against Eastern. How much do you feel like the more game experience is going to help him even get even better?
Absolutely, I think he will get better. I mean, that's the goal for him, and I think it's showing up. And to your point, he just needs to keep playing and keep getting those game reps. That's how everybody really takes the next step, is to have those real life experiences in the moment, in the game, building confidence, and he's no different. So I expect him to keep getting better with those reps.
Why do you think he's so good after the catch? What makes him good after the catch?
Oh man, there's a million things that I don't have. A lot of athleticism and twitch and awareness and all those good things that you want in every skill position.
Any more? Cool, thanks guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.